The abandonment of past experiences. Like if, for example, somebody spoke the truth and trouble came their way because they spoke the truth. So they're like, I learned my lesson. Next time I'll learn to shut up. Next time if I don't want trouble, I'll just stay quiet. I'll just stay quiet. There's a wife who a husband said, what's wrong? And she says, well, you disrespected my mother really badly. And he loses his mind and threatens and says, I'll take the kids. I'll move to another country. I'll do this to you or that to you. And your father's dead. Who are you going to call? Etc. He does all this stuff. What does she learn to do next time there's a problem? She'll be quiet. Because it's terrifying. It's terrifying. By the way, men go through that too. Men are hostages. Stay quiet. There's a storm in your head. Won't say a word. You're terrified of the consequences. Right? Ittaqullaha wa qulu qawlan sadida is actually pretty revolutionary. Lose the fear of people and speak up. What? What are you talking about? That's taqwa. That's taqwa. That's some serious taqwa. Because the fear of people and the fear of judgment and the fear of abandonment and the fear of past, damage repeating itself. Oof. That's not a small fear. These are very real anxieties that people suffer, right? And Allah in this surah, He liberated the Prophet ﷺ from that, even in the most subtle way. And through that, He called on the believers to be the people who are liberated from that. There may be someone among the Bani Israel that's very knowledgeable, and he sees the Prophet ﷺ and immediately knows he's the Prophet. Immediately. He could just say al-qawl as-sadid and say, I know he's the Prophet. I'm switching sides. And maybe he's the one who gives the khutbah on after Sabbath. He's their imam. He's their sheikh. His next khutbah in Medina could be about how the Prophet himself is the messenger of Allah. Right before he goes and gives that speech, what are the consequences of that? If he gives that speech, what are the consequences? He might get killed. He'll definitely lose his position. There's a lot of people that wanted to be head imam, head rabbi. They've been vying for his position. He's going to be out in no time, right? Then if he does accept Islam, when he comes to the Prophet ﷺ, is he some head scholar or is he a new beginner Muslim? He's a beginner Muslim. All this, everybody used to come and show their respects to him. Everybody used to ask him for the fatwa. Everybody used to ask him for tafsir. Everybody used to ask him about Musa alayhi salam and Ibrahim alayhi salam and Nuh alayhi salam. He was the go-to. All of a sudden he accepts the Prophet ﷺ. What's his status? He goes from being a lifelong teacher to now a beginner student, doesn't he? Is that an easy transition? The fear of losing your place, fear of losing your position in society, the fear of losing your status, losing your respect, the fear of no longer being the one to be heard, but the one who has to listen, the fear of that downgrade, is that also a fear? Is the ego also afraid of a hit? Could it be enough to keep someone from accepting the truth? And by the way, I'm not just digging on rabbis or religious leaders in Medina. Could it be today that there's a Muslim, a scholar, a knowledgeable person who learned something about their deen, but they can't say it because if they do, they'll lose their following?